Yo, what up gamers, I'm Dark, and today we're going to be playing Misfortune, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how to play Misfortune. If you don't know me, I'm a Master Tier ADC main from the EUS server, and Misfortune has been one of my favorite ADCs since Season 10. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe for more guides and the best educational ADC content on YouTube. Misfortune's passive is that every time she attacks a new target, she deals extra damage to them, between 50% and 100% extra damage. If she auto-attacks the same target twice, the benefit will only happen once. This strongly incentivizes you to constantly switch targets while you're fighting, especially if you're wave clearing. You want to be auto-attacking each minion once and not just spam auto-attacks on the same minion over and over as you usually would if you're wave clearing. But it's a pretty neat passive because it makes lost hitting really easy, definitely by far the easiest of any ADC, and it's pretty good for trading as well. Misfortune Q is basically an auto-attack, which then bounces and hits the target behind it. And that bounce also does count as an auto attack, basically. It's pretty good for trading. It basically allows you to get 2 auto attacks off in a row really fast, which can make you proc PTA really easily. And if the Q happens to bounce onto the target behind it, then that basically refreshes your passive onto the target you're actually trading onto. And that can mean you get your passive twice off on the same person during the same trade. The bounce also does double damage if the Q happened to kill the target it was fired onto. So it can do quite a bit of damage as poke, but the one thing you need to make sure that you're not doing is that you're just tunneling too hard on key bounces. The Q is also really good for just trading straight up, especially because, you know, with your passive you're heavily incentivized to actually auto-attack the enemy since you do a lot of damage with your autos compared to other champions. And if you're running PTA, then it's a really fast way of proccing PTA. So in this particular game we are running PTA. It's just one of many good options for Misfortune, but if you're going crit, it's probably the best choice. And I'm basically going to be teaching you how to play the crit Misfortune, because in this particular game I did have to go crit, since they had a relatively tanky comp between the Rammus and the Set. So generally I would say Misfortune is better with the lethality, but she's got a lot of flexibility. So if you're against a really tanky comp, then you can easily go crit, and it's still quite a good playstyle. It's just maybe not quite as good generally as lethality, but still can be quite strong there. So Misfortune W is basically a massive attack speed boost, and its cooldown is actually lowered every time you proc your passive. So this actually means that during fights, your W cooldown pretty much has no cooldown if you just constantly keep swapping aggro onto different targets. And so this basically means in fights you actually are quite incentivized. Like even if you're trying to focus the enemy ADC, it is actually not always stupid to just constantly switch focus between them and the support just to get your W off of cooldown faster. In the early game, when your when your passive scaling isn't as great as it is late game, in terms of damage, you're not actually going to be killing the ADC at the same pace, just through auto attacks, by switching targets as you would just by focusing them directly. But when it comes to your W cooldown, you are going to kill them a lot faster if you are getting your W cooldown lower, so you can actually use your W multiple times within the same fight. And so that means if you can swap targets while you're focusing the ADC, it is smart, and you won't be losing as much damage per auto attack onto the ADC, because your passive means that when you are auto attacking them, you will do quite a bit of damage. So would have loved the back here, but unfortunately Jhin is going to freeze the wave. We have to be careful that they don't all-in us. I think Thresh could probably engage and win, but so far doesn't seem to want to do that. Right now he's got a massive wave hitting him, but okay. We can back off now. I think they've pretty much just broken the freeze anyway. Yeah, this freeze is broken for sure. Okay, might have to give up a wave here. Yeah, back in here is for the best, even if we're going to lose some CS, because, you know, I've got a lot of gold to spend. I'm just going to buy Berserkers here to get it back into lane as fast as possible. Yumi's pinging me to help her, but I don't want to turn around here because I want to miss as little CS as possible, and there's actually very little benefit to me just turning around and bringing Yumi with me. When I get into lane here, they're not going to dive me. You know, I don't need Yumi to be with me instantly. The priority here is getting into lane to get as much XP and gold as possible. The Berserkers are also really good with Yumi in particular because, you know, Yumi is as mobile as you are. So generally she tends to be pretty good with mobile champions, but in general that just means any kind of mobility you can pick up, that will also benefit the Yumi really hard as well. So I think in general if you've got a Yumi, Berserkers can be really good, because if you're getting caught, then she's getting caught as well. So this will help me dodge the thresh hooks, and in general, like when I'm running into places or trying to get away from champions, it'll be double as effective with Yuumi on me. Alright, that's a good call from Yuumi to go and cancel their backs. It's worth missing that last hit that it just cost me under turret, because in the long run they will miss more farm from getting their backs cancelled. So Misfortune E is an AoE slow, has a pretty long range. It's damage over time as well, so it does this damage spread out over the course of like 2 seconds. It doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. You basically just only want to use it for the slow with this playstyle. Certain Misfortune playstyles also might run Comet or First Strike, and they might want to use their E just to proc their runes, and then there would be more incentive to cast your E. But if you're playing Current Misfortune with the standard PTA, or even if you're playing with Dark Harvest, I mean, there would be no point in using E, except maybe to get a Dark Harvest proc, or otherwise just, you know, to slow somebody, whether you're chasing them down, or to get away from them. Alright, my bad, I used my heal there because I thought I would need it to get it from Rammus, but he just turned around anyway. I think he could have actually got me. He shouldn't have given up so easily. Anyway, this is a bit of a blunder for me because I shouldn't really have slow pushed that time when we cancelled Jin's back with Yuumi Q. By slow pushing, I'm kind of leaving... I am denying them a lot of farm, but I do kind of leave myself vulnerable to the Rammus gank the moment that they get back into lane. Because they're ground from the lane, what I should have just done was just hard shove the wave into the turret as fast as I can. And that'll create the bounce back, and we'll be less vulnerable there. See, right now I'm also just really vulnerable to this Rammus. And it's just, you know, it's a situation of my own making. Basically, I have to give up a lot of farm here. So as we see Thresh walking up, I don't know if Rammus is around, but it's a decent indicator that he might be. So, yeah, I just can't walk up here at all. We don't have the vision, and we don't have the means to place vision either, so... I'm just gonna go for this Grump. We're gonna kill some time killing this Grump, getting some farm and some XP, while we're getting zoned from the wave. I'm also just gonna check if the scuttle is up, and maybe if we can clear a pink there. Nah, I don't want to walk that far up actually, but... So hopefully by now, even if Rammus was initially trying to go for a gank on us, he will at least be gone. And so we can hopefully at least just break this freeze now. Now I've got my ultimate anyway, thanks to that Grump. So I'm just going to be able to use the ultimate here to clear this wave. There we go. Get a little trade onto them there, and yeah, as we can see, Rammus just completely gone. Or maybe not completely gone. Hopefully we can at least rush this streak down. Oh, that's going to be a 50-50 smite. Oh, okay, that was taken by Rammus. Just going to try and get the scuttle real quick. Can't really do too much here. Maybe I can get the thresh. Nope. Oh, damn. I was going to flash through the wall. At least I got a kill there, though. That's fine. So Misfortune's ultimate, as you saw there, as I cleared that wave, is just a big-ass AoE ultimate. Just deals quite a bit of damage. It lasts about 3 seconds, I believe. And it does kill with crit, so crit isn't completely wasted there. It does more damage still if you go lethality, but regardless of your build, it is going to do a ton of damage. And if you can angle that in a way where it's just going to hit multiple champions across an extended duration, then that is absolutely devastating. And even if you can't get too much damage off, it's at least going to force them to have to reposition themselves mid-fight, which is a pretty huge disadvantage in itself, as, you know, they could be getting attacked by your team and not being able to fight back because they need to prioritize just moving out of the way. And if they don't respect that, then they're just going to be absolutely decimated by the ultimate, regardless of your build. Another good use of your E is actually just keeping your enemies in your ultimate for a little bit longer. So as you slow them, they're not going to be able to move quite as fast. Doesn't matter quite as much on the champions without with a dash. But, you know, immobile champions like Jin, Thresh, the more they're slowed, the longer they're going to be stuck inside your ultimate. So Zac prepares for a gank here. I'm just going to be tanking these munitions to set up a small freeze here. The enemies do need to try and break this if they want to try and get some farm. So, okay, nice. Going to be a quick kill onto Jin there thanks to the PTA and the Q. So now I should be able to both get this turret and also clear this next wave. This is a pretty tanky wave, given this Ikena wave, so I'm just going to be using the ultimate here. One important thing about Misfortune is you don't need to be afraid to use your ultimate for wave clear. The cooldown is actually relatively low, despite how impactful it is, sorry. We can see Thresh is trying to freeze here, but I don't think we really need to be worried about that. He's going to take a lot of damage for that, and it doesn't seem like he's dragging it out much, so most of the wave will die under turret anyway, and I have plenty of time to also get into lane here. Without losing too much farm, while still getting there in time to break the freeze. But yeah, as you can see, didn't keep it really as far away from the turret as they could, so caused Thresh a lot of HP, and yeah, freeze just won't last very long. In fact, no, actually, we can dive him. This was very stupid of them. So when this wave crashes under the turret, which will take no time at all thanks to the freeze, just easily dive Jhin here. Just gonna run straight at him. There we go. Still holding onto the heal, so that was pretty easy. But yeah, I didn't feel like it was worth cancelling that Thresh's attempted freeze just because we had so much tempo and I didn't want to ruin that. So tempo basically means that we had shoved the wave really fast and Thresh he had to tank it for a while, right? Then he has to back because he's just taking a ton of HP setting up that freeze since he had to tank the wave for like 20 seconds. And like, even if he hadn't backed, he's still going to be staying in the lane on low HP. And, that's going to be a pretty big advantage for us. And if he does back, then obviously Jhin is alone. And the wave is under turret already. Just an easy dive there. Just need to be aware of the opportunity that's being presented to us there. Freezing is generally quite good, but, it does come with its downsides. And if you're going to be tanking the wave for like 20 seconds, that's maybe not always going to be worth it. Zac is definitely overforcing here. We have no vision of Rammus whatsoever. Now I'm backing out. Yeah, there's Rammus. Oh, that's a Yone too. I was going to try and ult the Jhin there, but no, I need to run. Just going to drop the ultimate here though. Should be able to do a lot of damage pretty safely. I could have cancelled it sooner, but I was trying to kill Yone. Didn't quite work out though, my bad. Listicle went over to Rammus. And Yone actually lives as well. That's so crap. Oh, that was an absolute disaster. Unlucky. And it'll also cost us a turret. Anyway, as for the build, we're picking up the Kraken Slayer because we just needed that for the Rammus. We definitely will be dealing very little damage to him if we don't do Kraken Slayer, so picking that up. You could also do Gale Force if you want. It's fine on Misfortune. If you're going crit, then Gale Force is fine. Just really depends on the enemy comp. And also whether you find any value out of the Gale Force active, depending on the enemy comp. In this particular game, it would be nice to have the Gale Force against like Rammus, just to escape him. But I think having the damage to kill him is going to be a lot more important. And so second item here, we're going to be doing Lord Dominic's because Rammus will build a lot of armor. And, again, if I don't do that, I'm going to be really lacking damage against them. But otherwise, you could do Collector second item. That's generally the most damage you will get if you want to just itemize for damage. You could also do Bloodthirster second item. Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention about Misfortune W is you get movement speed through it passively every time you're not taking damage in combat. This is quite a bit of movement speed as well. It's like 95, I think, right now at the max rank. And so it doesn't count as taking damage if you're taking damage to a shield and not to your HP bar. So Bloodthirster is really good on Misfortune because it basically increases your mobility by making it harder for your W movement speed to actually drop off. So you can take a bunch of minion aggro, and if you got the Bloodthirster shield, it doesn't matter. You will still continue going at full speed. That also matters a lot against champions as well if they can't break your shield to chase you down. So it's definitely a bit more of a defensive choice, but your damage with it is fine as well, and does have that really nice synergy with her. That being said, most people prefer Collector at the moment. Just gonna use ult here to hit them both at once. Gonna turn on to Rammus here. Hopefully I can burst him down before he kills me. Very nice. Alright, sweet. Can't think. I don't have time to run to the right. Oh, it's ult. Alright. That's fine. That was a pretty good outcome though. So even if you can get into auto attack range, you can still just use your ultimate for some AoE if there's like 2 targets bunched up. So there, for example, we had the opportunity to maybe kill Yone and Rammus. I think Rammus actually would have died if he didn't ult out. So it would have been a free double, whereas if I just walk up and auto attack, then we only get 1. So, you know, you don't have to watch out for like ultimates where you're hitting their entire team. You can just settle for situations where your ultimate will take out 2 people. Or, you know, even just, if you're out of range, you can also use your ultimate to follow up and a teammate's engage without having to walk all the way into auto attack range, especially if it wouldn't be safe to auto attack. One great thing about Misfortune Ultimate is that it basically functions sort of like Jhin ult in certain fights. If you can't really get in range to auto attack, you can just throw an ultimate from really far away and follow up the fight that way. This is not the greatest place to be fighting since we're in their jungle and we don't have too much vision. Yeah, I can't follow it up here at all, so I'm just gonna be running away. Maybe with Salas here we can maybe do something, but no.
I know what I'm doing.
So just gonna pressure the turret here a bit maybe, or just go on Yone instead. Okay, maybe going on Rammus instead then. Don't know what he's doing here. Right, nice. Yes, as you can see, the Q auto attack reset comes in really handy late game once your auto attacks actually deal quite a bit of damage. And it also procs the Kraken Slayer, which I think is what killed Rammus there. The later we get into the game, the more damage my auto attacks will deal, and so the more valuable my Q will be as well. Okay, nice. Second time I kill somebody like that. So as you can see, here's the long range follow up with the ultimate. I can't get in range to hurt Jhin while he's CC'd by Silas, but... Ah, shit, I got slowed there in mini block. But yeah, with that ultimate follow up, we're able to massively take down Jhin. Unfortunately, kind of bait Silas, I think. Silas goes down there, but Jhin doesn't. So we're just heading over to the Drake here. I don't know why Silas is so far away. We clearly wanted to go for this, but we'll see what we can do without him. Just need to play this very cautiously. Can't draw my ultimate while Yone is so close to me. Okay, not gonna be able to do too much, but will be 2 kills for us there. Okay, so now I just want to go bot because there's a pretty decently sized wave here, and if I push this far enough, I can even get the turret. As you can see, just alternating the auto attacks between targets, not auto attacking the same one twice in a row. And it doesn't take too far long into the game for your auto attacks to just be one-shotting pretty much every minion thanks to your passive. So, but there's, yeah, just gonna be another free dive onto Jhin here, I think. Oh. Auto attack the turret once or twice there, but that's fine. Still works out. It's far too greedy for Jhin to be trying to save that. So I'm gonna be able to get the turret here. Worth noting, by the way, that your passive does also affect turrets. So if you're trying to hit a turret, it is probably going to be most efficient to try and take it down by alternating auto attacks between the turret and minions if you have any around. Especially because it's going to get your cooldown on W off faster. And with the W coming off cooldown and getting multiple casts of that, you're definitely going to be taking the turret down faster. One thing to note though is that it doesn't actually work on inhibitors and the Nexus. It's only for turrets. And that's kind of a bummer because it means that you don't also, not only do you not get the reduced damage, sorry, the increased damage onto the Nexus and the inhibitors when you're pushing those, but you also can't reduce your W cooldown off of them. So there's no benefit to auto-attacking minions except, you know, just to auto-attack minions to get your W off cooldown. But, you know, It can be worth it, but you know, it's at the same time as damage you're dealing to minions that isn't really, you know, it could be damage towards the inhibitor of the Nexus as well. So it just depends on how much you would need the W cooldown.
Sure you can handle me, summoner?
So since we have Zac covering us here, we can shove this wave pretty easily. Shouldn't really be possible for enemies to get to us here, I don't think. And now that we shoved this, we can just walk with our team, see what they want to do, try and clear vision with them maybe. Okay, he wants to go for Baron. We'll see if we can do this maybe. See if they maybe don't have vision. Actually, they're clearly going to come here, so I think we should trap instead. Okay, I'm going to draw my ultimate here. Ah, fuck, they had vision. That sucks. Okay, at least I got the kill on Yone there. That's not too bad, but yeah, that really sucks actually. They had vision there, clearly. The Ram ulted in, the Thresh hooked me. Shame. I kind of assumed that we'd cleared vision there, that's why we're going for that Baron sneak. It's not really much of a sneak if they see us do it in plain sight. But anyway, somehow the fight doesn't go well for us, despite how terrible that went for me. So hopefully that will be a free Baron for us. Alright, nice. So that's the Baron for us. I could actually just wait for them to finish the Baron, so I could get my money for a BF sword. But I don't think it's worth it. I just want to get started walking over to bot lane here, grab some farm, because the enemy team won't really walk here in time to contest this. So I just want to get that free farm while I can.
Not a problem.
Sadly, I still missed the cannon though, but that's fine. So I just want to shove at least this one wave. And now just rotate towards mid and group with the team.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, I just need to be careful I'm not face checking anywhere. Okay, so that's gonna be an engage. Unfortunately, I don't have the ultimate to follow up right now. Okay, well, it's not much of an engage anyway. There's not a fight yet. Oh, okay, now there will be. So I had to walk out of red aggro right as Yumi ulted. Okay, now they're all grouped up. I'm just gonna ult. So fortunately, they kind of like were kind of stuck in it, I think. But you know, even if they had been able to move out of it there, they were busy fighting my team, so it would have been not great for them to have to move out of the way when they were at the same time busy on fighting, you know? At the time that you're just spending, just moving without doing anything else is time that you're not spending fighting, so it's kind of inefficient towards the fight. But they weren't even able to do that. I think they were CC'd, so. Yeah, so as you're going for these Nexus turrets, if you can, it's nice to alternate your other attacks between the two turrets, so you can take them both down faster that way. And get your W cooldown off faster. But that's going to be the game. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Misfortune guide. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future, guys. And I will see you guys, I hope, on the next video. Later, gamers.